use their title rights to promote a good cause, and that is an anti-bullying effort in Sweden. So from the Friends effort to the Friends Arena. Jana Andersson, as we gear up for this friendly, the 55-year-old from Halmstad, who's been in charge now for a year and a half. Reinaldo Rueda, just a couple of months, and this will be his first encounter.
Well, there's one man who is really looking to make an impression and pick himself up with the spirits. He had serious talks with Claudio Bravo about staying away from these games, but it was Claudio Bravo that talked him into it, and now Claudio Bravo, the goalkeeper, is having problems because he lost his really close goalkeeping coach, and that is supposedly one of the big problems. And the Chile Federation said, no, he's not coming back. And Claudio says, well, I ain't coming back.
That opens the door. The 36-year-old Johnny Herrera is going to be the starter here today for Chile. You see him there. It's just his 22nd cap. The other two goalkeepers that have been called up are brand new. The 23-year-old Brian Cortes from Colo-Colo, the 20-year-old Gonzalo Collao from Cobreloa have never been capped before. So the veteran Herrera anchoring today. Denmark next for Chile on Tuesday, and maybe one of the rookies will get a chance. There's a good look at Victor Lindelof from Manchester United. Slow start, but boy, has he picked up steam of late for the Red Devils.
He's going to have to, playing against another Red Devil on the opposite side of the pitch.
We are underway, and the yellow and blue of Sweden moving from the right to the left. The red of Chile will be defending the goal towards the left. Alexis Sanchez touching it back, and Jean Beauséjour deflects it out. It'll be a throw-in. Nacho Garcia, Pablo Marinho on our Spanish side. If you care to hit the SAP option, Phil Shane and Ray Hudson joining you today, and we are glad you have joined us on beIN Sports. Sweden, 3 months away from a World Cup opener in Novgorod against South Korea. They are also grouped with Germany and Mexico. It is not an easy group, but it is also not out of the realm of possibility to see Sweden advance.
Well, if they do advance as well, Phil, in all likelihood, if the form book plays out, they would meet Brazil. But there's a lot of football to be played ahead of that happening. So let's just enjoy the moment and enjoy these wonderful two teams. Of course, the big couch in the Sweden dressing room is missing. It's got a big hole there where the great Zlatan Ibrahimovic used to reside. And the door is evidently still open. Zlatan coming out on his way to LA and saying, hey, listen, I've told them I'm going to wait and see how I respond. If I can get fully fit, I may return. And the door has been left open for him.
Ball slips through. Let me ask you this, as a player and as a boss, would there be a different thought process, Ray, when you consider the dominant personality that is Zlatan Ibrahimovic and how fragile a winning team can be?
Well, you talk about like it's a negative. It's a positive. For me, if Sweden had the chance of calling back Ibrahimovic for a place in their squad, I think it would be a tremendous decision, and obviously he would be responsive to the challenge. But as we said, there's a long way to go. Los Angeles Galaxy are the benefactors, and we'll see just how he'll impress. I think, well, everybody knows I'm the biggest fan in the world of the great Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and said that I'd walk on broken glass just to smell the exhaust fumes coming out of his car. He's a world-class player of the highest order.
Pablo Hernandez rolling it wide, slotted down for Beauséjour. One-touch cross. It'll stay in play, and the ball launched back in, deflected. Beauséjour doing well, and they will earn a corner.
Nice little clip ball in there from Alexis Sanchez, seeing Beauséjour. This, of course, double Copa champions, a golden generation under Sampaoli. And that man was the inspiration for both of those, and he was supplied with some good players all around him. They've started out well here.
Grandqvist, the captain, forced to clear, reclaimed by Chile. 4 minutes in, it has been nearly all the visitors. A little spin and a pull right in front of Taylor, who says play on. But then dispossessed in the midfield. Here comes Chile again. Reds on the attack. Out wide. Angelo Segal. Segal again, and he pulls out. Nope, just enough of a touch. It will be a goal kick.
Greece is the man who starts this with a wonderful interception. The Bayer Leverkusen man looking very sharp as he stepped in. And then the red domino started to fall. Great start from Le. What a miss they're going to be. How the hell did they not make it to the World Cup, Phil?
Well, if you really want to know...
Yeah, I really want to know.
They only have to look in the mirror to find out. There was a match earlier in qualification against Bolivia that they drew. And there was a player, as the ball launched into the area and out comes Herrera to grab, for Bolivia, who was actually called in and played a year earlier than he should have been allowed. Chile appealed, won the appeal, gained the extra 2 points. The problem was that same player also played a match against Peru that Bolivia had won. So Peru ended up getting 3 points, and that was the difference. That extra point kept Chile out and put Peru into the playoff that they knocked out New Zealand. So Chile with the appeal won, but lost. And again, it gives you an idea, Ray, at least to this point, until they expand the World Cup, how tenuous it is to qualify. There are complaints that in South America, 5 are too many, but when you consider the fact that Chile finished just 2 goals in differential out of the World Cup, how fine a line it can be. And Paraguay was only 2 points further adrift.
You just said 5 is too many coming out of South America? Huh?
I think he could probably sneak all the way down sometimes to 9 or 10.
Absolutely. Well played. Nice
to the inside by Isla, the
Lovely
Centurion,
pass.
off to the far side.
Here. Nicely again.
Vidal, Alexis, and he couldn't catch it all.
He didn't need to catch it all. He's got Isla at the back post, and he says his apologies. This one should have been delivered with his usual pixel-perfect pass. Lovely play from Chile, linking up nicely. Oh, man. A wonderful inviting pass. Not delivered for Isla. There would have been 1-1 with this man, Norfelt. Well, that was a true catastrophe in my book. Phil, for that, all the technicalities of it and oversights.
Although what we saw last night from Peru, that is a team that deserves to be there.
Absolutely.
Knocking out Croatia in fine form.
Speaking with no bias, being married to a Peruvian girl.
I like sleeping in my bed. Off to the near side, pushing up the wing is Martin Olsson, and the Swansea man ridden down. A free kick, says Anthony Taylor.
There was no need, was there? He had Isla behind him. It's double insurance. It's a good run, unquestionably, from Olsson. But right here, he's got double coverage, and there's no need to step in and barge through like that. And it's cost him. Segal opens the door for the Bargut. That means yellow and blue in Swedish, Phil. Bargut.
Looks good on them. Johnny Herrera about a yard off of his line. Height advantage to Sweden here. Big Grandqvist and Lindelof moving in at the edge of the 6.
Yeah, looking for Maripan, 6'4" for Chile.
Ball whipped across, glancing header. Nice try, but Toivonen's shot goes over the bar.
Gary Medel, of course, not in. That wonderful little fire hydrant size Rottweiler, and a wonderful player, of course, Gary. But Chile has always had that reputation of playing smaller defenders in the back. And there's several questions labelled towards Rueda. He says a lot of games the aerial ball has got to be taken care of, so he's given young 23-year-old Maripan, plays his football in Alaves in La Liga.
Pushing up the wing, Sanchez tries to scoop it across, deflected to King Arthur.
And a wonderful run from Aranguiz into the box.
Isla to the back post, headed by Vidal over the crossbar.
Two lads in the red shirts coming to attack, and he ain't ever going to back down. Lovely ball from Isla. Sends it lovingly, and just a little bit of a step through right at the back. Look at the yellow shirt coming on and just doing enough to put him off. It's Lustig, Mikael Lustig, Glasgow Celtic lad, comes in and gives a Glasgow kiss to Vidal.
Nordfeldt up the line. Good distribution from the 28-year-old goalkeeper, but Sweden finding it hard to get out of their own end. 10 minutes in.
A lot of EPL experience throughout this Swedish side, so the referee will know them. But 10 minutes in, Chile looking a World Cup type of team. Some fantastic teams not going to be there at the big dance in Russia, of course. And wonderfully talented, not only the United States, who have left us all crying in our Budweiser, but Italy, some good African teams.
Chile would be right up there among them.
Totally.
Now, for this Sweden side, a showdown against Romania on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Chile will also double dip. They'll be taking on Denmark. And then the action resumes in June in that step up towards Russia 2018. Sweden will warm up against the Danes, the aforementioned Peru, and South Korea when things open up on June 18th in Novgorod. Near side, Olsen cuts to the inside, Forsberg. The Red Bull man slots it down. Olsen dispossessed.
Wonderful again from Isla. Beautifully slayed.
Segal doing some nice work and pushing up the wing.
Got a lot to do here.
But then just seems to run out of gas. A little help along the way, says the referee.
Larson reaches in with his arm, and he's got the coverage of Segal right here, but there's very little in there. But again, referees are giving you an invite to call the whistle when your arm is being played across or in front of or on the player. Gains nothing other than the invite from the referee's whistle.
Talk about Maripan being the new man on that back line. Segal, the new man in the attack. The 24-year-old from Pachuca, just his 7th cap, but a promising attacker, and maybe just opening the door a bit more for Vargas and Sanchez. Curling that one into the box, but Vargas was just offside. Near side, Gary Beswick. Far side, Adam Nunn running the lines for Anthony Taylor. Stuart Atwell rounding out the Premier League crew. Sweden, difficult group, Ray, and the fact that they advanced even to the playoffs was to their honor. France with 23 points, ball skipping away from Grandqvist, but the captain able to get rid of it. Near side, Olsen up the line.
That's good play by Andreas Grandqvist there under pressure. He's a big lad and he's traveling with the ball, but smart decisions. Phil, you're right, this Swedish side, 2 losses in the 11 games, and 8 of those were wins. Now, that was where all of the brouhaha started about Zlatan being left out and the talk about them not needing him, which I think is utter poppycock. But he did survive without the great Zlatan. And what he has left them with, as everybody knows, he raises the ability, he puts pressure on the players to maintain a high standard. He'll do it at LA. He did it at every club that he's ever been with. Look out!
Chance in the middle. Isla wants it back, but unable to hold on. Vargas.
A poor touch, wasn't it? Uncharacteristically poor touch from Eduardo Vargas. A big look at the big man at the back, Guillermo.
Sweden finishing level on points with the Netherlands. Another team that will not be here as they continue their rebuilding. And even though the Netherlands won the head-to-head with a win and a tie, they were 8 goals less than Sweden.
Good play.
This is a Swedish side that knows how to score. Cleats come out. Larsson
Good
whistle.
hold-up play by Cleason initially, but then his touch heavier than an anvil. And both players going for a ball in between them. Tough one for the referee to call. A lot of refs will say play on. You cannot really say there was that much, and there's certainly no intent there. That's the way the game's played now. The way it's called now.
Off to this near side.
This is the type of football that was so illuminary in their Copa wins, especially when they played in front of their home crowd in Chile. As hosts, they were absolutely wonderful, meeting and beating Argentina in a great final. But it was this sort of possession and this ability to not be afraid of going into areas and demanding the ball. There's such a bravery about this team.
Ball in for Vidal, a collision with Granqvist. Pops out for Vargas, finally brings it down. Coming back to intercept was Kleisen.
Wonderful by Segal, that little dink header down, and Vargas not able to rein it in. But wonderful construction from the red shirts.
Vidal
spreading
still
out
down.
the football right, left and centre. And then when they do go for the direct pass into the Swedish area, it results in real danger.
Sandwiched between Nordfeldt, the goalkeeper, and Granqvist, the defender.
There's that wonderful delivery, and their big boys not backing down. Not much in between any of the players. There's no intention there one way or another. All just trying to meet the train at the station, and the manner of both Nordfeldt and this man, very courageous. First time this man's been able to pick a Chilean side, Phil. It looks as if he's got his balance right, and he's certainly been there and done that in a lot of ways. Did a great job with Honduras, of course, in the 2010 World Cup.
Absolutely. By the way, in this one, it looks like as Nordfeldt went up, and as you said, no intent, it looked like his knee might have caught the thigh of Vidal, but King Arthur appears to be okay.
FIFA coming out in the last few months is saying that they're going to seriously look at the type of laws that are going to restrict goalkeepers coming out in an identical situation like that. They're going to look and scrutinise how a goalkeeper comes to claim a ball in their area and put certain restrictions on it.
It does seem to be
with consequences.
The one position that does get the extra benefit.
Sure.
Now it looks like they might bring that back just a bit. This has got to be a concern for Rueda. You mentioned Medel, who might be pushed back to the midfield under the Colombian. He's not dressed today, so they will have to go even deeper.
Yeah, suspended.
Meanwhile, this could be a crucial injury even for Bayern Munich, his Champions League right around the corner. Sweden also not at full health. In fact, the man who scored the billion-dollar goal, Jakob Johansson, the lone goal against Italy in the 2 legs of the tiebreaker with a knee injury, and he was not able to be called in for this match and is a question mark for the World Cup itself. And the Seattle Sounder midfielder Gustav Svensson benefiting today. Poor pass, goal kick for Chile.
Well, I haven't seen much from the home team. Granqvist's men certainly haven't shown any sort of serious threat in their build-up or in the area towards Johnny Herrera. He's had a good look at the game, and it's been going the opposite direction for him, and he's saying, long may it continue. But Chile and Alexis and Vidal certainly looking bright. It's just a type of friendly that Janne Anderson once felt, being pushed here in front of their home crowd.
Nearing the 20th minute. Sweden trying to stymie Chile before they can actually turn it back the other way. Ʞ back to Lindelof. The United man pushes it wide for Lustig, back for Ʞ. Good build out of the back for Sweden, but here's where things tend to fall apart. Forsberg quickly surrounded, cuts to the inside and passes it off. Berg lets it run, wants it back into the area, tries to skate to a stop, but it's stolen by Rocco. ᴑᴜᴅ back to midfield, and now a little push as Granqvist flies. Foul on Vargas. Eduardo Vargas forcing his way up the stats and record book. Now 35
talk about
goals.
Stats, I'll step in if I could.
Please feel free. I know you love your stats.
Yeah, right. This number 10 really taking my eye in the early going. Emil Forsberg, seen him play, of course, for Leipzig. Lovely, talented, balanced player, and deserves to wear that number 10 shirt. Sweet little player.
Ball played back, and Herrera. Kind of wonder again. There is a Copa America coming up just next year.
Unbeaten sports,
In the U.S. and Canada, and maybe even at the age of 36, maybe he can get a Copa America as Chile's #1. Off to the near side, and a throw-in for the visitors.
Chile ranked going into this game in the FIFA standings at number 10. That's the highest of all of the teams that did not qualify for the World Cup.
Vargas takes it, launches it wide of Nordfeldt.
Takes a touch off the goalkeeper, surely, yes.
And it will be a corner.
Lovely hit from Eduardo. Beautiful strike, just gets it with his pinky. Tries to pull out of it, but he's not taking any risks, and that's a definite touch.
Needed to be.
Yep.
Now Alexis Sanchez out wide, 120th cap.
Ooh.
Deflected inside, Granqvist clears Vidal! Launches himself in the air, and the ball in the net. What a goal!
Magical hit! This is a rehearsed corner, but I'm not so sure that it's intended to end up at the golden boot of King Arthur, who pulls out Excalibur. Magisterial, the man who started his career at Colo-Colo. Wonderful, off-the-chart strike, imperious as King Arthur, for sure. Arturo Vidal lights it up here with a majestic hit. This is a terabyte of skill in a nanosecond. You adjust all the gyroscopes inside of his head, and then a divine connection from the eyes to the brain to his foot lights it up. A flash of pure inspiration from Vidal.
Now as Sweden looks to try and capitalize, they've equalized just seconds later as Ola Toivonen caps off a brilliant play.
And this is arguably even a better goal than Vidal. Toivonen is the thunder at the end of this lightning attack. But look at the consideration and the footballing ability of all the yellow shirts. And again, it's that man I was talking about, Emil Forsberg, who was the grand architect of this. The cerebral dictator, Blondie Forsberg arrives and stitches it all together, and it's a wonderful rasp home from 괰ᴜʟ that has Johnny Herrera helpless. But the real architect is Forsberg. And what a response. Here's the first goal. Wonderful flick on, and then it's detonated. Executed with malicious intent and much prettiness from Vidal. But what an answer from the brave lads of Sweden and Blaugult.
1-1 the score. Was going to say that Vidal goal was what this game needed, and Sweden responded.
So. I don't think it needed a goal. Why does it always have to need a goal, Phil? Why do you need a goal? This was a wonderful game for 20 minutes.
Forcing Sweden out of its shell, and it showed what they can do.
I don't think that's the case. I think it's Chile that's taking it onto them. It's not being forced into a shell. They've been good in defense, but they've not shown anything like that in their electric forward play until there. And 괰ᴜʟ struck gold.
Into the center, slotted back across. Here's ɪırᴛᴜ.
Nicely.
Cuts to his left, rolls it through, deflected and buried by Sanchez, but it's not going to count.
Takes a deflection on the way in, but is in the offside position.
Gary Beswick said yes.
Take a look.
It's where
pullback
was he here?
Yep, nailed it.
Good call by Beswick. Otherwise, it would have been 2-1 Chile.
No complaints from Electric. Great stadium, great crowd.
Talk about the stadium.
Both the reds and the blue and yellow in full voice. And this game certainly let the blue touch paper in a pyrotechnic way. But there was some good football from Chile and deserved that go-ahead goal. But what a response from Sweden. Tell us about the stadium, Phil.
Built in 2012, holds just over 50,000. Ball out on that far side and reclaimed by the Swedes. 괰ᴜʟ denied by Maripan. It was built to replace the national team stadium of Rasunda in Stockholm proper, which was torn down. The first World Cup stadium ever to be torn down and replaced. As you talk about the history from '58, new history being made in front of our eyes. Appeals for an offside.
It's a great example of what Sweden have got to do better there. There was a wonderful opportunity to find Marcus Berg inside, who had left his defender, but a little bit too static with the delivery, a little slow. Quick feet from the Reds. Beautiful football.
Vidal slotting it through. Fast legs, fast brain from Olsen. Nordfeldt.
I was watching some international friendlies yesterday, and thankfully I needed a nap because there was some absolutely poor, slow, boring football. But we bring you the best at beIN Sports, because this is a Chinese firecracker of a match.
It is, again, one of those things. CONMEBOL teams, South American teams, doesn't matter what's on the line.
It's the pace of this game played out by both teams right from the get-go.
Anderson has to appreciate the challenge here today.
Alexis Sanchez heavily involved, looking as if he's like a dog with two tails. Poor touch.
Chance now
Danger
to try
man.
and take the lead.
Good play.
Forsberg
Nicely.
slots it across.
Look out.
괰ᴜ.
Oh. It's got 괰ᴜʟ in the back post, and 괰ᴜ goes for goal. Bad decision in the end. That back post there. Big Ola 괰ᴜʟ, like a big flashing lighthouse saying, "Save me, save me."
The Chile goalkeeper taking his time putting this one back into play.
It's a great looking stadium, Phil.
Absolutely gorgeous with that roof just in case. The field in glorious condition. Touched off to the near side, Olsen.
What, there's a roof on this place?
You never know, it is Stockholm. Kept in play.
Nice touch.
Chance for Vargas, but it rattles around and off the Chilean.
Does the hard part immaculately. This ball's dropping to him and it's spinning like a top. And his touch is so soft. He controls it, but then the final pass is not delivered sharp enough.
Nordfeldt at 28 seems to be the man with the best opportunity moving forward. Jakob Rina from Aalborg and Genghis Jonsson also on this call-up. Maybe Copenhagen's.
No Valdivia, though, Phil. No Valdivia.
You
Can
need
you
that
see the
magic
tears
man.
in my eyes? Can you see the tears in my eyes, Phil?
I can hear it in your voice.
I tell you what.
Although
George
again,
Valdivia back in Colo-Colo. What a footballer.
34 years of age, though, Ray.
34. He could be 64 in Valdivia. It's still nutmeg, a mermaid.
No Marcelo Diaz either, the mighty might of the midfield, not called in by Rueda.
Yep.
They did call in the former DC United man Pablo Hernandez from Celta Vigo. And again, it is a different look under Rueda. Is Bielsa ball dead in Chile?
Doesn't look like it. Now they're playing some good stuff here. I understand. Valdivia excluded. Who knows, he may be still injured. He's been playing football for Colo-Colo in the Libertadores. Looked damn good. But a lot of miles in those wonderful legs. One of my favourite Chilean footballers. And when you look at the decorated footballers out there now, but man, George Valdivia, what a footballer.
Chance for the man wearing the armband, Alexis Sanchez, switches over to Isla.
Oh, nicely. Unlucky.
Wanted it back, but it gets caught under Aranguiz and then cleared away.
Well played.
Play on, says the referee.
It's from England.
Enzo Rocco.
Barge in the back. Play on.
By the way, there are a couple of promising young attacking midfielders on the Chile bench. Beauséjour to the inside, again looking for Sanchez. Slots it forward. Vargas, but can't control.
He's had a few bad touches tonight, hasn't he? Uncharacteristically, as I said before, Eduardo, here he is on the ball.
Vargas to the inside for El Rey. Back for Sanchez. Vidal shows, launching it over him for Isla. Slides the path inside, and Granqvist pounces.
Had options there. Alexis Sanchez, both to the left in the supporting overlap and run. And he's played the same ball again.
Isla, but he can't catch up to this one. Ray, maybe the next Valdivia playing in Mexico as we look at this replay. Diego Valdez, who suits up for Monarcas in Morelia. Martin Rodriguez for Cruz Azul, both available on the bench. And again, maybe that next generation with the 23 and 24-year-old ready to pounce.
Well, I'll bet you a milkshake that all of those players, if you rolled them up into one, would not touch the ankles of Valdivia.
Well, he's been called out of an involuntary retirement before and successfully helping them win a Copa America. Overhead volley back to midfield.
I'm sure those players are wonderful footballers, Phil. All due respect to them, but I get a physical arousal when I watch George Valdivia. Means my hair stands on end.
Ball off to that far flank, and again Sanchez pouncing.
Got away.
One right back though by Svensson. Forsberg cuts
Beautiful.
back.
Oh, three players around him. Emil taps them all on the head and nearly gets through the three of them. They netted him, and he still got through. The wonderful Leipzig player.
Mark Hasenhüttl, the man who pulls the strings there, and Forsberg obviously has caught his attention. Ball slots in. Berg steals.
Unlucky.
Taken back by Hernandez.
Switch played nicely here.
Beauséjour. It might stay in. Segal on this near side. But they're going to say a free kick as it cleared that goal line.
Beauséjour plays a difficult hopping ball. He's so confident, the Chile man. The ball bouncing in front of him. You'll see most players just touch it to settle it and then play the ball in, but he allows it to hop and hop and hop and hop, and then he steps through it, and he nearly got it right.
The Haitian sensation, Beauséjour. His dad Haitian, his mom Indian from Chile.
Oh, the ball again from main man Forsberg.
Straight to Marcus Berg, across, and Isla was there. Needed to be. Beauséjour started as an attacking winger, converted to a wingback.
Again, beautiful play.
Forsberg draws the foul.
Draws the defenders into him like a magnet with metal failings. Look at this little ballet dancer wearing football boots, Emil. Cracking player. Fancies his chances here. It's a little outside of his usual range, but the placement, he fancies himself, Phil.
This one about 35 yards out.
It's a long way. He's going to have a go.
Forsberg.
Nah.
Well, it didn't quite work out like it did in his mind.
35 minutes in the first blot of his copybook, and it's a big blot. Always optimistic from that sort of distance with that technique.
As you take a look in this stadium, you see a lot of red mixed in with that blue and yellow ray. There's actually a long history of Chileans coming to Sweden, political refugees, economic refugees, flying back. Arturo Vidal. In fact, there are more Chileans in Sweden than Brits, over 60,000 by some estimates, and most of them seem to be here today.
Two number 8s come sliding through in a big challenge. Vidal and Svensson. The ball there to be won. Ringrick. Rottweilers again. Still says in front of, on my match report, international friendly.
Just a little backyard barbecue. Svensson trying to serve Vidal.
It's a good ball. Is he off?
Beauséjour just on the wrong side.
Good run. He wanted it quick. He says, feed me quicker. Good look at him, Phil. 33-year-old, better than a butcher's dog.
A lot of attacking players just don't have it in their mindset, in their personality, to do that dirty work that's needed as a defender. Beauséjour, doesn't matter who the manager is, whatever they ask him to do.
Another one of those players, and Chile's Copa, that's well won.
Nice from Isla.
It was such a wonderful player for the national team, and showed up brilliantly, but that team wasn't a case of one player, not even the magic of this man, Alexis Sanchez, that stole the limelight. It was such a complete and utter fist of a team, Phil, a wonderful fist, an absolute diamond chandelier of a footballing team under Sampaoli. Oh, that's nice. It's rode out well for him.
Trying to slot it in, deflects away. Ʞᴜʟʟ continues the run.
Yeah.
The cross deflected. Vargas with Vidal. Blocked by Granqvist.
Oh, crowd gasping every 5 seconds here.
Isla with space and time, but the cross deflected, and now it's Sweden the other way. Rolled wide, a takedown in the midfield. Taylor says advantage played.
Needs an outlet, left wing.
Swings
overlap.
Near side for Olsen. 29-year-old back allows Forsberg to run the ship. Good anticipation from Rocco.
Yep.
Now Vidal, but his pass just a degree off. Gustav Svensson.
It's an outlet, giving it away. Oh!
Taylor, by the way, will let them play in Premier League play this season. 22 matches, yet to pull a red card. Granqvist to Lindelof. Little backspin on that, and Berg settles. Backheel flick. Cleats coming out from ɪɪrᴛᴇ, and it will be dangerous play.
Yeah.
Maripan paying the price.
Been in charge of some good teams, this man. ᴰᴜʟ, Flamengo, a great Brazilian outfit. His 10th job overall.
Stepped in for Osorio after he left Atlético Nacional and then moved on to Brazil. Was mentioned just back in January, getting the call to take over this Chilean side. And while it might be a dream come true considering the talent, it's also a responsibility because there are expectations.
Well, he's got the time to build out towards the Copa America in Brazil. Can't wait for that tournament, man. Nice ball.
Vidal just sees it slip away. Aranguiz pulls it back. But now Sweden just seemed to catch ɪɪrᴜᴜ.
ɪɪrᴜᴜ puts the brakes on, and then the ball just squirts past him.
Chips forward into the run of Ʞᴜʟ.
Changes his mind in a nanosecond there. Lovely little stab ball from Alexis Sanchez, but nicely cut out.
Berg almost thought he had that angle, but no. Impressed by Rocco, the Cruz Azul defender.
Hey, he's getting clipped.
Aranguiz tripped up by Larsson.
Getting kicked by Larsson. Look at that. That's a nasty follow through. Look at this. That's 3 times. That's not challenging. That's dirty play. And Larsson should be in the book from this referee, Anthony Taylor.
(1-1) the score. The goals coming in rapid succession. 22nd minute from Vidal, 23rd minute from Toivonen.
2 beauties as well, weren't they? In their different ways. One, an individual flash of inspiration, as I said, and then the Swedish response was just wonderful football. Well, you're going to get away if the referee's not calling the yellow cards for something that we saw just earlier. They're not going to call that one.
Back for Rocco. Touched inside for Isla. Isla now at Fenerbahce. If you have the chance to watch them on beIN Sports, you realize he's lost nothing.
Gary Medel as well with Besiktas.
Just skips across that far side. Ʞᴜʟ unable to keep it in. Talk about Ʞᴜʟ. I was thinking back when he came up. You had Ʞᴜʟ on one side and Marc Gonzalez on the other. Gonzalez still playing, but Ʞᴜʟ has been able to keep it up at an international level at the age of 33. Doesn't look like he's going anywhere. Pops up and a little connection down in midfield. Taylor had a good eye, says keep playing. Arangis with the poke. It will carry for a Sweden throw. Andersson, humble as a player, and in fact never really outside of those modest teams before he was given the reins of this national team in 2016.
Amateur teams, Phil, you can call it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Halmstad, Slaholms, ÖGRITE, Norrköping with a decent reputation.
This has been coming for a while, and this is why I said and made such a situation against Larsen, because his kickouts earlier were not punished by the referee. You let them off the leash like that, and that's what you're going to get. This is football for Hull City, and there's nothing too bad with this. But the earlier clips before and then that step through into Sanchez, you're going to get him into trouble, and this referee should have taken a little bit more of a stricter approach on that earlier one, where he was kicking out many times.
Does have the card here. Mentioned no reds in Premier League play, only about 3.5 yellow cards a game, and it looks like he's pulled 2 here. And it's Isla and Lustig, and Larsen gets away with it.
Alexis Sanchez is going on about the earlier challenges before, where his teammate were getting rifled through. It hasn't been a nasty game. As I said, it's been played at a great tempo, tremendous commitment from both countries. There was indications it was starting to slip out into the twilight zone, and Taylor's allowed that.
Well, let's see if things calm down just a bit.
I don't want it to calm down. Just want the referee to be a little bit more proactive with some of the nasty stuff.
1 minute added. 1-1 the score. Granqvist
Nicely.
tries to chip. Good reaction by Sanchez.
Applaudable in its failure from big Andres Granqvist. Not looking for the hoof up the field. Krasnodar man tries to finesse it out. Nothing wrong with that. Well played.
Sanchez.
That's magic.
Looking in the center.
And again,
the run for
brilliant
Segal.
electric.
Switches, and Pablo Hernandez with help. Isla, just seconds left. Overhead try, rattles around. Vargas couldn't quite turn it to goal, and that will likely do it for the opening half. Isla into the center. Taylor checking his watch, blows the whistle, and we are tied at the break at 1.
Well, one of the better international friendlies that we've seen this week. It was a wonderful, contentious game in the first half, illuminated by 2 Kono diamond goals.
Vidal and Toivonen the scorers. Stick around.